Hi, it's Evangeline from etrailer.com, and today we are looking at the Swagman XC2 Bike Platform Style Rack here on our 2020 Toyota RAV4. So this is a great option if you want a platform style rack with all the essential features and you don't want to have to pay for those extra bells and whistles that you may not need. So the way our bike is mounted to this rack here is by these wheel loops at the bottom and a frame mount. So if you look at the wheel loops, they can accommodate bike tire widths of 3.5 inches, and you can loosen this and move it back and forth to accommodate bikes that are longer or shorter wheelbases. So this has a frame mount up here, so if you want to dismount your bike, what I like to do is actually take off the frame mount completely, just so that I don't have to lift the bike over the mast. So with this frame mount off, I can then just lower it by releasing this pin at the bottom right there, and then this mast can be lowered and I can lift the bike up and out of the way, and we are ready to go on our bike ride. So if you look at the bike rack itself, you can see how it has a pretty minimalistic design. So this can be brought back up, and I'll put this pin back into place. So it uses different pins to have it in different positions. So if you want to put the frame mounts back in, you start with the longer one and it ratchets down against your bike. Then you do the shorter one right over there. So make sure you press it so that it goes all the way down. So this can be folded up, which is a pretty interesting feature. So you just pull out the pins on the side of the center mast, and then you can pull these up and then pin them back into place. So the pins now go on the top portion of this center mast. So one side, two side, and with it in this position, this is nice and folded up and pretty compacted. So when you do have a bike rack behind you have to remember that some length is added to the back of your vehicle. So this does not change whether it's folded down or folded up. It's still the same amount of length, and exactly how much is from our back bumper of our RAV4 to the back of the cradle is 18.5 inches. So that's a really small amount of length added to the back for a two platform style bike. Now as for ground clearance, our ground clearance on our RAV4 is 12.75 inches, which is not that bad considering how we have a shank rise of 4 inches, which helps us out since our RAV4 is a bit closer to the ground than maybe your other trucks or vehicles. Now as for closest point between the RAV4 and the bike rack is actually here, so above our bumper to this wheel loop is 6.75 inches. The way this bike is mounted to our car, bike rack is mounted to our car, is by this receiver here. This fits into 1.25 inch and 2-inch hitch receivers. We have the sleeve installed because our RAV4 has a 2-inch hitch receiver. It comes with an anti-rattle bolt and a clip here. So it does come with an included tool to help you install this, but I highly recommend using a performance wrench. It uses a 3/4 socket, so that really helps out with the whole install. Okay, so with that being said, my final thoughts about this bike rack is how I do enjoy how simple it is to use. It's very minimalistic. It's a platform style rack at a very affordable price, so you know it can have your bike sturdily in there. You don't have to lift your bikes up onto a hanging rack, and it works well with our RAV4. If you want to go out for a ride, you can fill your trunk up with all your things for your adventure, and you can just put your bikes here in the back. So that was a look at our Swagman XC2 bike platform style rack here on our 2020 Toyota RAV4.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. And finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.